So it was a Sunday, the very first one. Already really hot outside, earlier this month in July. The women showed up in groups all around the same time. Most of them were pretty on time. Rang the doorbell because this was at my house. And as they started coming in, there was a lot of small talk. You could already start to feel the energy in the room. Kind of felt like excitement, but also anticipation. And honestly, I didn't know either. I didn't know what was about to happen. All I knew is that we had something huge happening starting tonight, this night in July. As each woman showed up and brought her story, I knew that all of us together, as the collective female spirit, were creating something revolutionary, making our voices heard, standing up for ourselves, sharing our struggles together, knowing that we're not alone, and eventually sharing that with the world and growing this beyond our imaginations. You could feel that. You could feel that with each woman who rang that doorbell. And as everyone started to come in, some small talk, oh, hey, I know you, or you know my friend, or I've met you before. And everyone got some drinks, which was just water, tea, or coffee. On purpose, though. I didn't want to have alcohol disguising or exaggerating any of our feelings. I wanted them to be really raw, even if that sometimes comes with guards. Guards until we know we can trust each other. And that's okay. That's okay. And then we started to gather in my living room, and I had the virtual attendees up on the TV so that everyone could see them. And we worked out some logistics with making sure all the virtual attendees could see us in the room, and everything. Nothing is quite perfect when you're trying to do virtual and in person and deal with technology, but we made it work really well. And right off the bat, I told them, as I will at every meeting going forward, there is no requirement to speak. You can simply be there just to absorb the beautiful energy in the room of other women bearing their souls and sharing their stories with each other. You don't have to do anything more than that, but just simply absorb that until you feel comfortable to share your story. And also set the agreement for confidentiality. So what is said at the Society of Sisters does absolutely stay there. Those stories don't go anywhere else. They're held in confidence in our hearts. And as we began, I walked them through a meditation that I wrote to get relaxed and in our bodies, and then we started sharing. And I had no agenda. I had some questions to guide the conversation, but I didn't have any particular agenda of where I wanted the evening to go or what I expected from it. I knew this would happen organically and that the women would drive the conversation with what felt natural for them and what they wanted out of it. And what was interesting is that with every woman's story, and as we continue to talk, with some aligned views and some views that didn't align, which was great. We had all different perspectives. A topic that we stayed on for a while is the topic of boundaries and the ability to, one, recognize our boundaries. Then the next step of enforcing our boundaries and vocalizing those with anyone in our life, but particularly with our partners. And especially with newer partners that you may not feel as comfortable with saying what you want sexually, or saying how you want to be touched or not touched when you don't feel like that's what your body wants. And had some really good perspectives, other perspectives that felt like if that's what your partner needs from you, then that's what you provide. So, we also had some great debates over those things, which is all what the meeting is about. And we went, at least half an hour over, which I'll stay on time next time. But what that says is, these conversations are endless and we could go on forever. There's so many things to cover, but what was very tangible in the room is how connected we felt to each other and how similar our stories were. All ranging from, sexual abuse survivors to people that have always felt comfortable in their bodies and being sensual, and that was never an issue for them. But no matter our backgrounds, there was always something that we could relate to each other on and say, same girl, I've been there. I know how you're feeling. And this is what maybe would help you. Or I don't have the answers, but I'm here to support you. And that's what's so powerful about the Society of Sisters, is that you have that group of women that is not going to judge you. They'll be there to support you and love you, even if they barely know you. And I bring this up because I've heard from a lot of women recently that they've struggled to have friends with other women. That's always been a struggle for them, that they more easily identify with men or become friends with men, that those friendships are easier. And I haven't had that experience. If anything, I've had the opposite. So I don't necessarily relate to that, but I find it really interesting that I've heard that a lot more recently from a lot of women my age, from women that I didn't expect that because they just seemed like really easy to get along with. So I wonder where that resistance comes from and where that difficulty comes from. But I do want to say that the Society of Sisters is there for you, to be that group of women that you can lean on, that you can trust, that you know will not judge you, that was not there to compare what you look like to them or what you're wearing or whatever other superficial things may have happened to you in middle school or high school, or maybe even after that as an adult. But that's not going to happen at the Society of Sisters, and definitely not while I'm the lead of it, because I won't allow that. But those aren't the kinds of people that the Society of Sisters attract. We're there to support each other and lift each other up, and spreading that to all other women that want to be a part of it. So we're on to something huge. This really is a revolution of women being able to speak up for what they need, for what they deserve from all people in their life, and to know that they have a group of women supporting them through it. So I hope to see y'all at the next one, August 4th. Virtual and in-person attendance as possible. So please send me a message to sign up and I'll give you all the details. If you have any questions, also send them over to me. I'd love to hear from you. Have a great night.